What time is it?
It's cruise day time.
Got our cruise shirts on.
Got our cruise shirts on. See the back. There's the back.
Yeah, and now we're heading over. They came by and picked up our bags. We put them.
You gotta have them out ready to go by 7 o'clock, and they came by at about 10 after 7 and picked them up. So now we're gonna go meet, have a little breakfast, and then the cruise people will be here at like 9 o'clock. It's now right about 7:30. So we'll eat some breakfast, meet the cruise people, get on the bus around 9:30 and head for the port to a 4-day Bahamian cruise on the Disney Magic. So come go with us. It's cruise.
It's cruise. You got the back to go here. Whoa! Okay, so we are staying in 6003, an inside cabin.
Inside, just a regular inside cabin.
And
this is the first time we've ever had an inside cabin.
And the 6003 has a different layup a little bit because it
runs
it's
sideways.
So you might want to remember that. People say this is a nicer setup, but we'll see. We just got here, but anyway, we'll just go a quick view.
Yeah, you walk in. First thing I noticed, it does seem darker, obviously, because you got no kind of window or anything. But you come in the door, and immediately to the left of the room, you've got the bed tucked over in one corner, a couple of small nightstands on either side. You got a little storage above.
They do have a lot of storage places.
Above the TV, then underneath the TV, you've got your little refrigerator, and just nothing in it. And then in the middle, you've got some glasses, then some shelves, more shelves there. Then you've got multiple drawers here on the desk. You do have a regular hair dryer and your heating hot pad for curling irons and stuff, and then you've got some smaller additional drawers for storage. Nice little bench or stool for the makeup here, and then another storage on the side. You got a couple of, it looks like you've got 3 normal US plugs, one 220 plug. That's for the hair dryer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then you get light switches. One turns off all the lights.
Oh, you did that.
And one turns the lights on by the mirror. And then as far as plugs,
Looky, we got the plain plastic, not the Mickey.
Yeah. Are those silver?
Yeah. And then we got another bag.
And over by the bed, you've got 2 plugs underneath, small drawer for storage, a couple of lights on either side with a nice little map. Then on this side, you've got the one plug underneath the phone. You've got table, couch that flips over to a bed that's already made up. And then towards the right of the room, you've got your closet. You've got one side that has a couple of little shelves, has the safe. You got your life jackets up above. The other side's just more hanging. And then this is the difference. This is the one thing that's different. Most of the Disney ships nowadays, every cabin room has a split bathroom where you've got one room with the toilet, one room with the shower. Both have vanities, but this is just like I say, the basic inside cabin. So it has the old style of bathroom where everything's in one, and it has a relic from the 90s when this ship was built, the old wall-mounted hair dryer, and that's, you know, it's pretty well lit. You've got body lotion, soap, you got your toilet, and then your shower is a small tub just with a curtain. Got a spray shower head that you can take on and off. It's tight, and then you have your shampoo, conditioner, body wash, all.
Step up in there. Let me see how tall.
All in there.
I don't know.
We have in our traveling party this time, my brother-in-law, who's like 6'3".
I don't know.
I'm 5'8".
There is no way.
I'm not sure that he'll be able to stand up completely in this shower, but we'll see. But again, it's snug but doable. And again, you got to keep in mind this ship was built back in the 90s, or in the 90s. So
you got lots of storage. We did show them this, didn't we?
Yeah,
Lots
we
of
did.
storage.
We showed. I mean, there's really a lot of storage in here for this room. You've got a curtain here.
Yeah, the curtain.
If you want to.
As the TV comes out.
Yeah, the TV comes out from the wall, so you can turn it towards the bed.
Okay.
And so, anyway.
Got a little mirror right here.
Yeah, kind of a full-length mirror.
So stay with us, and we'll show you the Disney magic.
Come go with us.
Come go with us. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick review of what I thought about the Disney magic, and also kind of give you a little ship tour of the main decks, like 3, 4, and 5, 9, 10, and 11. So the Disney Magic is one of the oldest Disney ships in their cruise line. It was built like in 1998, and it's pretty small. It only holds 2,700 passengers compared to, say, the Wish. They're one of their newer ones, that and the Treasure, which holds about 4,000 passengers. But I did like the smaller ship, and I did like the smaller crowds. Just the Celebrate party alone, as you can tell, wasn't just packed and everything. It was real easy to get everything done that you needed to get done with this small ship. Now then, you could not tell that this ship was built in 1998. It has been redone. It's beautiful. It's kept up. It has this old classic cruise line look and this old classic, to me, a Hollywood look. But let me go over the decks. So I'm going to start with this deck 3 at the aft of the ship. So here's the elevators. This is what I was saying. It kind of reminds me of old Hollywood. Even the elevators have the old numbers on top with the little Mickey hand that goes up to the different floors. But you come off the elevator at the aft of the ship, the back of the ship, and we're going to go right over here to this one side, and you'll come to your first restaurant, and it's called Rapunzel's World Table. I'm going to show you the inside here at night when we're coming in. It's a beautiful themed restaurant. It reminds you of Tangled. It has the lanterns for the lights. It has this purple carpet. It has these purple beautiful chairs and tablecloths. It does have a stage show, and the stage is off to one side. We couldn't see it as well. I'm not always a fan of stage shows. I know they're good for kids and everything, but usually you don't see them very good. You can't hear them very good, and it's just hard to get the dinner done. But this is the first night. I was kind of a little disappointed. because our waiters and waitresses, they struggled this night with the dinner show going and trying to get everybody down. We were at the 8 o'clock dinner. We didn't get done until 10:30. We didn't get out of there until 10:30. It's a very long night. So I'll have to go over that more with you later. Now then, as we come out of Rapunzel's rolled table, we're going to go on the port side up toward the midship. You'll run into the first lounge that we have, and it was called Soul Cat Lounge. I love this lounge. They had a lot of things going on during the day, like arts and craft, some trivia. But at night, it got a little bit older crowd, and it was, they did music in here. It was just for an older crowd at night and everything. Now they do have some really cool drinks. Here we got an old fashioned. It was called a smoke old fashioned. And so they do have a lot of different old drinks. And like I said, this was a smoke old fashioned where you do the smoke and then you opened up the box. And in this old fashioned, I think they used some type of lime or orange peel, and then they had cinnamon in it that was charred. So we did enjoy this this lounge a lot when we were there, and we used this lounge a lot. Okay, as we continue walking toward the midship on deck 3, we come up to the second restaurant on this deck, and it's Lemires. And it's based on, of course, Beauty and the Beast. Has a great theming inside, but if you see all these windows, they have the iron, the wrought iron on them and everything. Reminds me of old Hollywood. It was very, very pretty. You have the big porthole on the other side, and we're going to come up to the Magic's atrium, which is a much smaller atrium compared to like the Wish or the Fantasy or even the Dream. But it's really cute and quaint. I really did enjoy it, and it has these mid elevators, this old-fashioned glass elevators here in the middle. It was really pretty. Over here is your customer service, so it's a small area. If you need something at customer service, go there right away, because the lines do get long. And then this is where you actually came in when you boarded the ship. Deck 3, we have the statue of Mickey here, Mickey selling the ship, and then the front part of Lemires, which I'll show you that restaurant more in a little bit. And then right over here is the Port Adventure desk. So if you had anything that you haven't booked yet, you would come to this Port Adventure desk on deck 3. And then here is Lemires. This is the restaurant I wanted to show you. It's based on Beauty and the Beast. It has the big chandeliers on top with the little roses in it. Our table is right here in the back. It was a really nice table, right by this big mural of the Beauty and the Beast. And this night the waiters did much better, but I do have more to say about that because it was a struggle. Anyway, this is the midship elevators. They're much smaller, they're tiny elevators, very classic looking, and they have glass on the other side as you go up toward the other decks on the atrium area. Then, toward the very front of the ship on deck 3, you have your after hours. This is kind of an adult area. It's kind of an adult area after hours. During the day, you have kids running through here. You have things going on in these little lounges back here. But at night, it really kind of turns into an adult theme only. You get these big port windows that you can sit in and look out over the ocean. You have this one lounge called Phantoms, which is this lounge here. And right now they're doing a towel folding class and everything. But as you can tell, it has little booths, it has a dance floor, it has its own bar back there toward the port windows. And they have dancing in here and game shows and all kinds of stuff in the evening, adult game shows kind of. And then you come out and you walk down this hallway, which this hallway is, it's got black walls, silver walls, and purple flooring. It's real pretty. And at night, everything it has a blue light theme going. It's really, really, really cool looking. At the very front of this hallway is a piano bar called Keys. And there again, I tried to show you inside Keys, but it was kind of dark and it's hard to show. But you had this dark, pretty purple flooring, gold lights, black furniture, and then you have the piano, and they were playing the piano at night. It was really, really pretty with a bar and everything. And here's the blue lights I was talking about at night. All this turns into a blue light area. It's really fun looking. Then here's the the forward elevators and the after hours. And see the chandeliers on top with the black ceiling, the silver on the elevators. It's just classic old Hollywood to me, and I thought that was so cool. Then at the very end here is a little shop called Sea Treasurers. It wasn't open very much when we were there. I don't know, I'm showing the times here because it was a funny times that they were opening. But it's just a little shop that had, some hats, some mugs, some t-shirts, it's a very little shop. And then right to the left here is O'Gill's Pub. It was more like an Irish pub or Scottish pub. And they did a lot of trivia in there, like sports trivia. They had the sports game. We were there during the Thunder playing. They have different types of sports going on, and right now they're getting ready for a beer tasting. So with beer tasting was with an extra upcharge, but you could come and do beer tasting. We weren't doing it. We were just walking through here, showing you this lounge and showing you our favorite waiter. It's Anya, and she helped us through the whole. We got to know her really well, as you can tell, and she was on the private island too. So she helped us on the private island with drinks. We really enjoyed her. She was funny. Anyway, this was the last bar on the after hours on deck 3. So now we are ready to go up to the next deck, and that's going to be deck 4. And as we go up these staircases, I will tell you that, like when I was on the Wish, even the Fantasy, I think some of the staircases were really wide, a lot bigger, smaller staircases, but I love the wrought iron on these staircases. Does that not look like old Hollywood or old cruise ships to you? It does. Here's the elevators, and this is the forward part of deck 4, which has the Walt Disney World Theater. And they put on some really good shows on all of the Disney cruise lines. We saw Tangled one night, the musical, and Twice Charmed and Disney Dreams. Now, Disney Dreams was the last night. It was one of my favorite. And the other two, well, the first night was Twice Charmed, and then the next night was Tangled, one night was Pirate Night, and then we had the Disney Dreams. Anyway, right before you go into the theater, you had this little area called Preludes on both sides, and they sell candy and popcorn and cokes and drinks at an extra charge. And then I wanted to show you the actual theater. It is smaller than the Wish and the Fantasy and the Dream. I didn't see an upper part of it. It was just one level. So you want to get there early if you want a really good seat, because they don't have a lot of seating, but it's really pretty theater. Now then, as you come out of the theater and back by Preludes again and see all the things that they have to sell, you'll come to some shops midship here on deck 4. The first one is Whitecaps, and it's kind of a little upscale shop. It has like Tommy Bahama shirts and cruise ship clothing and towels, mugs, hats. It was really a nice shop for the Magic. I mean, it was a pretty big shopping store compared to like even the Wish, I thought. So I was really happy with that. And then you can come right across the hall and you'll see Mickey's Main Sale. And it's another little souvenir shop, but it does have some dry goods, like if you needed sunscreen or Tylenol or anything like that, you'd find it in this shop here. Pins. So like I said, these shops on the Disney Magic was really a surprise. They were pretty big for these shops. I think on the Wish they had other shops with a lot of jewelry and watches and stuff. Well, Magic only had these 2 shops, and they were pretty big shops. Now then, we're going to walk right out of the stores, and we're going to go right to the main midship, and we'll look out over the atrium. Here's this small little atrium. You have 3rd floor, 4th floor, and 5th floor. Lemires is right across there. This is where you would enter the ship. And like I said, there's the Lemires restaurant, and right above Lemires restaurant on deck 4 is the D Lounge, which I'm going to walk around there to that. But and then I'm right by the elevators that have the glass on them, but you can see how small the elevators can be, or they're very, very small elevators compared to some of the other ships. Now then, as we're on the deck 4 and we're walking by the atrium, you have the DVC desk, right to the side here, and then you can see the promenade deck outside deck 4 there, and it's a little sitting area. And then we're going to come up to the D Lounge. The D Lounge had a lot of things going on during the day. We walk to the side here, and we're in the gallery. So this is where you can buy some pictures and paintings and stuff. But here's the D Lounge. That was closed when I walked by here, but I am going to insert the D Lounge right here because this is where they do bingo, they do some game shows, they do some family game shows, they do trivia, they do a lot of different things in D Lounge during the day. And then at night there is a little bar down there on the side, so if you wanted to get a drink, Cokes or alcoholic drink at extra charges, you could. Now then, you can bring drinks from upstairs, the cabana area, and down here to the D Lounge, so you don't have to buy something if you don't want to, but if you do buy something at the bar, it's at an extra charge. This is the promenade deck outside there, which I'm going to show you more of that because I really love the promenade deck on the Magic. Now we go right from the gallery into Shutters, and Shutters is where they would be taking pictures on the ship, and you can see with your Magic Band or your key card what pictures are available for you to download, or if you got the picture package, you can come get them and download it. And then, as I said, right outside these portholes is the promenade deck of deck 4, and I will show you more of that later. And then they have a little jewelry store right here called Diamonds and Wishes, and that's about it on the Magic. So on the Wish, they have much bigger jewelry stores and watch stores, but the Magic, they just have that little corner there. And then at the very back of the ship here, you're gonna have your last restaurant that you can go to, which is the Animator's Palette. It was closed at this time, but I'm going to show you in just a few minutes of what it looked like once it was opened. And here's the elevators. Okay, so here's Animator's Palette, and you start out all in black and white, as you can tell walking in. It is really a really cool restaurant. And then as you sit down and you get going, they add more and more color to the walls, and then you also have Mickey coming out and doing a little dance and everything. This is what I had trouble with the waiters and waitresses with Disney and their dinner. So our dinner was at 8. It's a set time. You get restaurants you get assigned to. The problem is they have them so rushed anymore that you have a hard time getting your drinks. If you wanted an alcoholic drink, you might as well just go to a bar and take it in with you, because our drink waiter did not have time to really do drinks. And then when it's 3-course meal, 4-course meal, they didn't have time to even take the old dishes away to put the new down. We were eating around dirty dishes. We were eating around, shoving plates in the middle, putting them to the side until they had time to come back and get it. It was just not pleasant anymore. I just wish Disney would figure out how to fix that. Now, wasn't our waiters, Disney. It was a lot of people I talked to. Those waiters are rushed, and it is not their fault. I'm blaming Disney on that one. You do a 3 or 4-course meal and you don't have time to get it all done. That's not their fault. That's my say on it. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, I'm going to also go to the next floor, which this is going to be floor number 5, and we're at the aft of the ship. I didn't talk much about the promenade deck on 4, which I showed you just a little bit of it. I was also talking about the restaurants, but the promenade deck goes all the way around Magic. You can walk all the way around the ship, which I love. The Magic, the Wonder, the Fantasy, and the Dream, you can walk all the way around the ship, and it has teak wood that you walk on, and it has the classic check deck chairs, so I really enjoyed it on these 4 ships. Now the Wish, it doesn't go all the way around. You kind of have to go in a door, out a door, up a stairs, down a stairs. It's just different, but I do like these older ships with their promenade deck. Okay, now let's get back to Deck 5. Deck 5 has the movie theater, and I just got through showing it to you. It does have really good movies. If Disney has a new movie out, sometimes you get first choice at seeing it. So I do like that theater. And then on the 5th floor, you have the Oceaneers Club. It's a Small World nursery and the Oceaneers lab. And so most of these things we didn't do very much of because we don't have small kids or any kids at all with us this trip. So, but that's all on deck 5. And then as we come out of that hallway, you're going to see the atrium from deck 5. And they did a lot of things down in this atrium. They had the Jack Baby Dash, which was here. It's kind of fun to watch. They had a goodbye, a little theme thing going at the very last night in this atrium. So this atrium did light up with a lot of different things. And then you had the classic elevators. Do you see those with the glass and everything? It's just really like I said, a classy ship. And like I said, on deck 5, there's not a lot. There's just mainly those things, and then more cabins and everything. Now on deck 9, which we are coming up to deck 9, at the forward part of the ship, you have the Cincy Spa, which we didn't use the Cincy Spa very much, but they do have the Rainforest spa area and the Cincy Spa. So, and then they had, when you come out of the elevator here by the Cincy Spa, you had all this wooden floor. It was really pretty. It wasn't carpet, it was wooden floor here. And it just kind of goes with the theme of the spa, I think. Now then, as we walk out of here, you're gonna come really to the adult area right away. And that's from the forward elevators out into the 9th deck at the adult area. Look, we found a duck. Somebody put a duck down. They put ducks down, and then you kind of rehide them for them. But it's got a shaded area. It has a lot of lounge chairs. This is all adult area, so you don't see any children here. You have to be 18 plus to be in this area. They have a huge adult pool. This is right here in the middle kind of the ship, with 2 hot tubs and a wave, I think it's the ocean bar, a wave bar. I will show you more of this adult area and this pool from top, and you can see how big this one is compared to like some other ships, but I did enjoy the Magic's adult area. Here's some more adult area with some chairs lounges, and then you have the Cove Cafe, which I thought was kind of weird that I think if you have a kid, you might have a hard time coming to the Cove Cafe to get you a coffee or anything because it's an 18 plus area. I don't know how that exactly works, but the Cove Cafe is in the adult area. And then as you walk out of the Cove Cafe, you walk around these little barriers here, and you'll see a sign that basically stipulates where you can have children at. So here's the sign that says this area is reserved for guests 18 and older. And I'm going to show you more of that area from a top, so you can look down and see the pool, which I really enjoyed. Now this is more the kid area here. This is the kid pool, and along in the shaded area you have more tables instead of lounge chairs sitting up. The lounges are more out there by the pool. With the adults areas you had lounge chairs out there by the pool, but you also had some lounge chairs under the shade. And they do have a couple of eateries here, and so maybe that's why they have the tables and chairs. But they usually have your big screen TV or your big movies out here. They're playing a couple of hot tubs in the kid area, and as you walk up these steps and everything, they have the Pinocchio's Pizza. So this is probably why they do have a lot of tables in this area and everything. The pizza, it was okay. It was a cruise ship pizza. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't bad at all. The chicken strips and the chicken fingers, they were delicious for me, but the pizza, that was okay. Now then, as I'm walking around here, I'm going to kind of pan around and show you the kids pool, because they had all the kids out at this time because they bring them out for so long and then they let them get back in. But you had a hot tub, kid pool, which is much smaller than the adult pool, I felt like, and then another hot tub on this side. And then as you keep walking around, this is still deck 9. This is all on deck 9. You can walk through here and you'll have your ice cream machine set up. And here on the Magic, you can actually serve yourself with the ice creams. So here's your line, and people are waiting in line to serve themselves with their ice cream. And then right next door to the ice cream is called this frozen zone, and you can get like frozen fruit drinks and some other drinks here. I think it's at an extra charge. Now the ice cream is not. The ice cream is part of the cruise ship price, but the frozen zone, I think whatever you get here might be at an extra charge. I'll have to check that for you. And then as you walk on past that, you're going to have a little splash zone for the kids, and it's kind of another kid area, and they had everybody pulled out here. Also, you had to slide there. that yellow slide is for adults as well. And then you have your duck-in diner, and you also have your Daisy's Delights. And these are like hamburger, hot dogs, chicken fingers, just all your different foods here. I'd kind of show a list here. Cheeseburger, hamburger, chicken fingers, french fries, all right in this area. And this is really kind of more toward the aft of the ship. So this little splash zone for the kids and these little eatery places are toward the aft of the ship. And this is probably, like, again, why I said there's probably a lot of tables and chairs in this area. Now then, as we keep walking toward the aft of the ship, we're going to come up. Oh, here's the yellow slide, and here's where you come out of the yellow slide for the kids. And like I said, some adults can go on that as well. And then toward the front, you're going to come across cabanas. But before we walk into cabanas, of course, this is the aft of the ship, the back of the ship. But you'll have all your drink stations. This is your outside drink stations. And there's just only this one drink station for outside. Now, in cabanas, there's more drink stations, but there can be lines out here for your drinks. You got your coffees, your hot water, and your pop and teas, and some mineral water as well. And then as you come into these doors at the aft on deck 9, you're going to come into a little hallway that's entryway to cabanas, and this is where your buffet lines are and everything. Now on cabanas, on the Magic is a little bit different. It's a little bit smaller buffet area, so they don't have a lot of buffets stretched out everywhere. So you come by, you do your wash, the station to wash your hands, and then when you go into cabanas, there's usually a line immediately. So on the Wish, there's people going here and there, and you don't really just have a line that starts. But at cabanas on the Wish, there's a line because they just didn't have a lot of things spread out in cabanas. So you just had on each side the same buffet going, and people would line up in the morning, line up at lunch, and wait in lines, even to go all the way down toward the end. And as you get toward the end of the buffet, it gets less of a line, more open. But that's one thing I didn't like about cabanas here, is there's usually a line that you're going through. And then they do have a drink station over here to the side where you have your coffees, your juices, and your waters, and your soda pops or your pop. And I didn't mind that so much. But like I said, cabanas, sometimes early in the morning or sometimes during lunch, you could get a pretty long line going just to get into cabanas. And it's a little bit different on some of the bigger ships. Then we sat outside of cabanas on the outside at the very back of the ship, and this was a real pretty area with lots of shade, and the view was just unbelievable. You can see the trail of the ship and the back of the ship, and it was, like I said, really peaceful and beautiful. Now then, we're going to go up to the 10th deck, and that's where you have your sports deck. And so on the Wish, they had it kind of all indoors, but on the Magic, I think in the Fantasy, because those are the two I've been on, they have it outside up here, and you have some lounge chairs, and this is the 10th deck, and it's like you got your basketball, they didn't have miniature golf up here or anything like some cruise ships does, but it has your basketball, it had your foos tables, your ping pong tables, and it was up at the top here on deck 10. Now I'm trying to remember if it was on the front of deck 10 or the back of deck 10 for the sports court, and I'm thinking that it was forward. It was the front part of deck 10. So this is the front of the ship, and then you have lounge chairs sitting on each side. There wasn't much shade for the lounge chairs, but they did have shade for all the tables and all that kind of stuff. And here's the view of the front part of the ship. Now these little wooden things that you see coming through here, those were for towels. Some of them were, for trash, but a lot of them are for your towels, your towel returns. Disney does not make you check out towels like other cruises with your key card. You just come and grab the towels as you need it, and then you deposit the towels when you're done. Now then, as we're coming midway back to the midship, I'm going to show you the adult pool from the 10th deck, and not just because it's on the 9th deck, but I'm going to show you what it looks like and how big it is from the 10th deck, because you can really see it well from up here. We would get lounge chairs right up here in the shade on the 10th deck, and then we would go down to the pool area, and the bar area wasn't too bad at all. There is the adult pool, and I'm going to even show you a better picture, but there's the 2 hot tubs, and this adult pool wasn't really big, but they had a big edging toward on it that you could sit and have drinks and everything. Some places on Disney you can't take your drinks to the pool. This one you could take your drink to the pool there, and you could sit on the edging and enjoy the cool water and a pina colada, so it was not bad at all. I wanted to say the wave bar, but this is actually called the signals bar, and look at how big this area is for the adult area. I really love this adult pool. Love it so much better than I did on the Wish, and actually better than I did on the Fantasy. This adult area for the pool is super. Now then, this is still the 10th floor. I'm gonna go right inside here because this is where you would find your Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique. So if you have a girl or boy wants to do dress up for Pirates Night or Princesses or whatever, you can make an appointment here, and it's up to a certain age. I think 12 or 11 or 12, but I'll have to double check that. And then I'm coming out here and walking on down. This is the other side of the adult pool area. Like I said, this was my favorite adult pool area of all, of the Fantasy or the Wish. The Wish, the pool's in the back. You don't have a lot of lounge chairs sitting around. And the Fantasy, it was in the middle, but I just don't remember it being as big as that with the edging on it. And then we have a drop slide here. We actually did that drop slide. It was really, really fun. But this is kind of right before you get to the kid splash pad and the kid pool and everything. And this is where you come out of that drop slide. But you'd go up those stairs and wait in line to do the drop slide. So that was really a fun slide. Here's the kids pool area where you have your big movie theater going, movies going. And this is where they can cover this pool and make, a theming for like the Sail-Away party and all kinds of stuff. You have the 2 shaded areas, and then you have 2 hot tub areas. But the kids pool to me was a lot smaller than the adults pool. So if you're an adult on the Magic, you might really enjoy this ship. Now then, as I'm walking more toward the other splash pad of the kids area, you will find the yellow slide, and where you would go up to catch it. Here's the splash pad of the kid area, and like I said, this is I'm on deck 10 looking down at the splash pad area, and this is toward the aft of the ship. And let's see if I can walk around a little bit more here to see this right here at the very back of the ship. You have a little bit of table sitting here, and these glassed windows is where a restaurant called Polo's is. It's the only restaurant that's not included in your rotation. It's extra to go there. When we went there, it's like $45 a person extra. It could be higher now. But you have to make a reservation, and like I said, it's $45 more per person, and that's just for, a set meal. If you want drinks or anything, I think it's extra for even more for that. I'm going to show you a little bit of inside of Polo's. We didn't do Polo's this time, but Polo's is one of my favorite. They don't have Remy's on Magic or any other upscale like Enchante. They only have Polo's, and Polo's is one of my favorite restaurants. It's we go there and get pasta or pizza, and they have great desserts. This is kind of like all the glass windows. You get to look out and see the ocean, and then this is a bar kind of area, and then you have the bar, and then you actually have the restaurant up front here. Anyway, if you have a chance to do Polo's, especially like on a 4-night cruise and you're going to do all 3 restaurants, you might want to do one restaurant for Polo's. The problem is you don't ever know what restaurant you get until you get on the ship, and then you find out what restaurant you have for what night. I wish we could do that a little different as well on Disney, but this is how it is. Okay, as far as the Disney itinerary that we was on for the Magic, we were on a 4-night cruise. We did Nassau, a day at sea, and we did go to the new private island here, Lookout Cay at Lighthouse Point. And I love this island. It was very beautiful, and it's only going to get more beautiful as it grows and the plant life grows as well. Now, I do always still like Castaway Cay. Love that. Can't go wrong with either one of them. Now, would I do the Disney Magic again? Absolutely. I fell in love with this ship. I fell in love with the old school look of cruising. I fell in love with the promenade deck and the old deck chairs. But when you walk into the Disney Magic atrium and you've been on the Wish or even the Fantasy, you're like, oh my gosh, this is much, much smaller. But that ship just grows on you. The adult area, of course, we were with all adults, so if you have kids, it might be a little different. But the adult pool area was one of the best. I loved it better than the Wish and the Fantasy, to be honest. And then the shows, all 3 shows that we went and saw at the theater was outstanding. So like I said, I really grew to love this ship and the size of it. Now there's a couple of things I wouldn't do. I would not get an inside cabin again. I would get an outside cabin with a porthole or a balcony, a lanai or whatever. I need a little light coming in. I decided some people won't, but I did. And then there was one other thing I wish Disney would look at. I'm going to get probably a lot of pushback on this, but I wish their dining service at restaurants at night would slow down again. I know they're trying to get so many people in and get 3 or 4 courses served and then out for the next group. But I just think it's gotten faster and faster, and it's just not peaceful, and it's just not good. And I was very disappointed with the dinners on here. It's hard to get drinks. It's hard to eat around plates that haven't been cleared off yet. And I don't blame the waiter or waitresses, because I've talked to a lot of people. I just blame Disney trying to get too many people in a restaurant and not giving them enough time to be pleasant to people, to be fun. I went in 2004, it's my first time, and it was a whole different experience. But even saying that, Disney is one of the best cruise ships. I love their cruise ships, and I love their cruise service on there and everything. I just wish that one little portion would just slow down a little bit. Come with us. I'm going to go on a Carnival cruise next and kind of check that out. I've been on an NCL on the Royal Caribbean, but like I said, Disney does it the best. Of course, they cost a little more, but they do it the best, and I will always love Disney. And the Magic, I will always love the Magic. And here's the adult pool one more time, and come go with us on the next trip.